welcome again to the Bailey Effect. I'm Shiante, and
I'm James.
all right, we had some things going on. We had spring break. Happy spring, happy Easter, happy all that kind of stuff to y'all. Let's see. How was Easter?
Wyatt brought Kaden some stuff for Easter. He didn't bring me nothing though, so
Oh, he didn't bring me anything either. And I specifically asked the Easter Bunny for something.
I think he did get something for Easter. I don't know.
If you don't remember, then that's a good sign that I probably didn't get anything.
Nah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get anything. So yeah, no, but for real though, Easter was nice. We didn't go to church.
Nope.
But we did get dressed up really nice. We took some pictures with our bunny. And what else did we do?
We went to Louisiana Bistro.
Oh yeah, we went out to eat. Had a good time.
I've been wanting oysters from there for a while. So we went there and got our oysters and jambalaya, and Kaden got her gumbo. So
then we went right into spring break.
Yeah.
We did something a little unconventional this year.
We didn't go nowhere.
We didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. And I kind of like seen that as a trend. Like a lot of people did go places, but then a lot of people didn't go places either. I think that we made a very wise choice in not going anywhere because I actually did not realize how tired I was because, we got back from the cruise in December, in January, went straight to Jamaica in February, went straight into softball every weekend in March. So we literally have been nonstop all year so far. So I think that, taking spring break as a true break was really good.
Yeah.
We did some things. We didn't just sit in the house
and
laze around and, all that. But we did go, and have some family fun. We did a lot of stuff with the family. We watched the basketball game, go Gamecocks. I'm happy that they won. Don Staley. I always want to say Stanley, but Staley, I think that she's an amazing coach. She's phenomenal. And I just, I'm happy that they won.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark is an amazing athlete as well. I hated to see her not.
That's the female Larry Bird right there.
Oh, okay.
Like, that girl, I'll give her props.
Yeah.
She beat teams by herself.
Yeah.
So I will give her props where props are due. She is like she's the Steph Curry of, she was the Steph Curry of college basketball this year. So I'll give her that. Like, I wouldn't take nothing from her. The thing about it was I didn't watch the whole girls game, but Dawn Staley did a great job, especially being able to go 9 deep in her bench, blanketing Caitlin Clark. So I will give her that. But Caitlin Clark that's a mean girl right there.
So you sound a little sad. Are you sad because your team is not going
No,
Daddy?
I'm not sad about that at all. I really don't care.
Because you was so excited last time.
Yeah.
Duke was in.
Yeah.
Duke is out now.
Duke is out. So I'm a Georgia football, Duke basketball. So it to each his own. But right now my concentration is my kid and this softball world journey that we're going on.
On this life journey.
Yeah, this is new territory for us.
Yeah.
Especially the growing pains of it, the growing pains of a preteen, on a very competitive with a very competitive athletic schedule and a very strenuous academic schedule. And being able to balance that, just getting my vehicle back after 45 days of sitting in the shop. I don't feel like I'm being crushed anymore. So
he's referring to his small rental car that he had. So great. We're moving and transitioning. I'm glad that you started talking about,
preteen.
Because that's what I feel like this show is starting to be about, raising,
preteens.
And how can the Baileys help impact or affect someone else's life in a positive way to help them change, or maybe see something a little bit different from some things that we put on here. And so I think that for me, a great topic this week was to talk about social media. That's like the thing right now. And like, y'all, we're not gonna have all of our answers because we're walking through this and we just decided to like share our journey.
Yeah.
Like we may look back at this later, like 5 years from now, and be like,
what are we even talking about?
But, right now, this is where we are. And we have a lot of friends who are here as well. And so we've just tried to come on here to provide a safe space for people to understand that nothing in life is perfect. No one is perfect.
Nope.
Not even us. And so we may say things that we may later regret. But right now, this is where we are. And this is, something that we want to do, provide some type of backing to help parents. It's the support to help parents. And so, this week we want to discuss and want to get right into social media. And I wanted to talk to you about, I wrote down some things about, what I think social media is, some positives about social media, some negatives about social media, some things that go on in their brains as, at their age, how they're growing, how that can be very impactful on their growth and development. So what do you think? What is social media?
So
what do you think social media
This started out first with, there's many different social media platforms, and a lot of people don't know. A lot of people think about the main ones. They think about Facebook, Instagram, and those are like the two main platforms that a lot of us grew up with. Mm-hmm. But then you start going down the line. Mm-hmm. TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, CapCut, what else? They're talking on, like, you might as well say Roblox has turned into a Pinterest. Mm-hmm. There are many different social media platforms out here that have taken over the minds of preteens. Not even just preteens. You have 8, 9, and 10-year-olds lying about their age to get these social media platforms. Mm-hmm. So for me, the definition of social media platform at first, when I first started getting into it, was just a way for me to keep up and keep in contact with my classmates. Mm-hmm. And like at first, it wasn't even anything business related. It was to keep in contact with my family, for me to actually like show games and things like that, because Kate is playing sports or I'm coaching, so to show games and things like that. That's what graduations, baby showers, all that stuff, because COVID really made social media big. Mm-hmm. But before that, it was MySpace, all that, Black Planet, all those different social media sites that we grew up with, that we use social media. But you have, not only do you have those, you also have dating sites. You have Plenty of Fish, Christian Mingle, Black People Meet. You have the country whatever social media platform for people who live in the country who want to date. You have all these different platforms, and our kids are starting to see those platforms and think they're cool. So there are so many different social media platforms. But us as this generation of parents, we don't know how to. We're learning how to navigate all those platforms.
And that's the same thing I wrote down about social media. I said it enables us to connect with people near and far. Mm-hmm. So I do believe, because we were the first social media babies, really, like social, like Facebook's and Black Planet, all that started with us. Like before that, it was like AOL,
dial-up, Net Zero,
and like the chat rooms and things like that.
Yahoo chats.
Social media really, really took off. I want to say around 2004, 2005, when I went to college and graduated from high school.
That's when MySpace and
Black Planet, all of that stuff. Like really, I remember like the first semester of college, I was getting a Facebook account. Mm-hmm. It had just come out. It was really big, and so, but it was nothing. I think what we think social media is and what this generation thinks it is totally different. And I think that right there in itself, as a parent, you have to understand that we're looking at it as a way to connect
with people.
and stay in contact with friends that may live in Colorado or China
California.
or Korea or, like these different places. We're looking at it as that. Whereas these children are looking at it for multiple reasons that are not that.
Right.
Like, it might be to connect, but you're
It's not
connecting and
connecting the way
doing
we
what?
thinking.
It's literally a popularity thing now.
Yes.
All these platforms. It also is a way to communicate, especially things like Snapchat. It's a way to communicate without your parents seeing what you're writing.
Yes.
And so I wrote down, one thing that I really do like social media for is because, especially you mentioned COVID, I believe that a lot of our children, especially depending on how old they were when COVID hit, they were robbed from the ability to be able to communicate face to face.
Yes.
And so a lot of them struggle with social anxiety. Like, they struggle with being able to give eye contact and look at each other and have conversations in person, because for 2 years
they didn't have to do it.
They didn't do it,
Yeah.
And so I think that in order to make sure that they still were communicating, social media became very popular. It became something that they used to communicate and to connect. They had all kinds of chat rooms, and I know when Katie was in homeschool, they would get them all on the line together, the Zooms, and they would communicate. So that was a way to make sure that they were interacting, and so I do believe that to remedy some of their social anxiety, like I'm saying, communicating with each other, social anxiety, face to face, personal social anxiety, social media took the place of that.
It did.
And so now I don't have to, see you and freak out and not know what to say. And, I'm hiding behind my phone now and I can just say these things. But the other side of that is just that I'm hiding behind a phone. I'm hiding behind some type of device. And when I'm hiding behind these devices, that opens up a floodgate of things that can go wrong, from catfishing to sex trafficking. To porn. All these different things. And so I think that parents just have to be very aware that social media, the way that we look at social media,
is totally different. Totally different. So I'll give some examples real quick. So example one, we're gonna use Snapchat, Twitter. We're gonna use Snapchat as the first example. So Snapchat right now, from probably the age of about, I know some kids that got Snapchats at 9 and 10, and they've lied about their ages to get these Snapchats. But the reason why Snapchat is used is because Snapchat only they can text whatever they want to on Snapchat, send videos and everything, and after a certain amount of time, it's deleted. So we don't see that stuff. So now what has social media introduced? It's introduced social what is it? It has introduced cyberbullying. So Snapchat is probably one of the leading forms of cyberbullying that we don't know about, but because Snapchat allows you to get your camera out, take a video real quick, snap it real quick, and then you can chat it and send it to your whole group.
And it's gone.
Like probably 60-something, 80-something kids that's in your class, and the next day or 2 days later, it's gone. And there's no, unless somebody saved it on their phone, there's no recollection. There's nothing out there for you to see or for anybody else to see. And now you have cyberbullying that has turned into a death. So Snapchat is one of the leading forms of cyberbullying. You don't really see a lot of it on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, because your stuff is being tracked, it can be seen. But Snapchat is one of the leading forms. And now we're going to go into number 2, athletes with social media. So what people don't understand is that social media is used for positive things, especially as athletes. My mentor actually has us using Twitter for Kaden. Kata's Twitter page right now probably has we're following about 200 people. She has about 25 people following her back, which is actually good for a 12-year-old who's just now getting into social media for that. But
what's her handle? You could put in a little shameless plug there.
Guess who's handling all her social media?
No, it's KB2030, right?
And her social media, her social media right now for Twitter, is KB2030.
If you want to see,
nice videos and stuff like that, her stats and stuff, that's what it is. But who handles her social media? I do. Reason why is because at a certain age, our kids tend to use fake. Like, people don't understand that technology runs deep. Coaches, scouts, everything, look at that stuff. So if you're in school and you have Snapchatted or you have taken a video at school of kids fighting, and you post that on your Facebook or your Twitter, and you have college scouts on there, they now see what has going on. Or if they show you, if you're filming a fight and you jump in that fight, or somebody films you jump into that fight and it starts circulating, now you've lost everything that you worked for. So me as dad, I'm teaching Kaden right now that social media for her is way more important as social media for some other people. Like, for her, social media is 3 times more important because she's an athlete. But for some people, social media is used for strictly finding people for friendship outside. It's a popularity thing. They don't know half of who they have on their social media, but they're friends with them. And then again, example number 3, we don't, as parents, we don't really see it, but our children tend to use social media for meetups. So, I'll give you an example. Facebook, back in the day, we would use Facebook. Like, we met a couple at a marriage retreat that met on social media. So we use it too for meeting and things like that, but we're grown. We're older. We kind of know what we wanted a little bit. But you have 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, 13-year-olds catfishing people and telling them they're 15, 16, 17, 18. And they're beating up.
Or you have 60-year-olds.
Or you have 60-year-olds chasing 20-year-olds.
Saying they're 20.
Saying they're 20. So social media has become dangerous. So with me, social media, and some parents may look at it different, but social media for me is a no right now for Kaden at her age. And the reason why is because it's very dangerous.
And how old is she?
And she's 12.
Okay.
And I am a very high-end tech guy. So I look at things, I study things, I see things, and I see too many. I'll give you an example. Prime example. It ain't gotta be social media. Your kids are now in text groups, in text streams, text groups, where it's all their classmates in them. And just like social media, just like Snapchat, Instagram, stuff like that, you have one person in charge of a group, and then it trickles down into many other groups. So Kaden may be in a group of 70 people, but now that group is broken up into 35 and 35.
And
now that group is broken down to 15 and 15 and 15. And now it's broken down to now where these kids are now taking their text messages that are in these groups. They may be in a group with Kaden or somebody or Joe Schmo, and Joe Schmo may say, I like Stephanie. And because that person in that group doesn't like Stephanie and Joe Schmo likes her, what they're going to do, they're going to screenshot that, no matter what platform it is, they're going to put it in their group chat. And now it's become a whole thing because they have now started talking about that person. So social media in general, for me at young age, 12, I don't think social media for me. I have to monitor social media until Kaden turns about 16. And that's my thing. Until she turns about 16, where she's driving, and I'm still going to be a little hesitant about it because she is an athlete. And because there are things, like my mentor tells me things about people that he works with who does videos and stuff like that, and they're inappropriate, and they're being looked at by recruiters and things like that. And now this recruiter you're probably being recruited by SEC school, and because that recruiter saw you on TikTok or on Snapchat, shaking your behind, knowing that you, or cussing somebody out, knowing that you're supposed to be getting signed, now you've lost your scholarship.
And I think that for me, I agree with you. I think that either you as a parent, if you decide, because at that age, like we were talking about, your brain, we talk about this all the time, it's not even mature.
Developed until
it's not
25.
even developed. And so there are certain things that you can't even process or think through to make wise decisions and choices. And I think that social media is a big responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a phone is a big responsibility. And I think that you as a parent, if you decide, me personally, if I decide to give Kaden a social media platform, then that means that I need to understand and recognize that this is a major responsibility for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that I personally need to be making sure that I'm watching it.
Yep.
You know, and if I don't have the bandwidth or the energy to watch her social media, then she don't need to have one.
Right.
You know, and so I think that you do have to gauge the maturity of your child.
Yes.
You know, you have to gauge how they handle conflict resolution, how they deal with stress and anxiety and, you know, people pleasing and all that, because that's going to play a main factor in how they show up on social media.
Right. Because again, social media do's and don'ts. A lot of us don't know the do's and don'ts of social media. A lot of us don't know that our child has gotten social media without some parents, especially us at our age and some younger parents or some older parents, our energy level as we get older goes down, and we have a 12-year-old. So we have to try to get as much energy as we possibly can, because not only are we keeping up this 12-year-old, we're keeping up with everything that she's doing.
All her activities.
So sometimes cell phone, right? So
schoolwork, housework,
right, everything. So some full-time job. So sometimes social media falls to the wayside, and we don't understand that she's in that social media world now, where the smallest form of social media can impact her in a negative way. And it doesn't even have to be a college recruiter or whatever. It can be a classmate.
Mm-hmm.
So we're learning that. So we understand that people who are older, who have younger kids. My parents, my dad and my mom were like almost in their 50s when they had me.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm 38. My dad is 85.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a 47-year difference in age. That's an age gap right there, where my dad didn't understand social media. He's 85. He don't even care about social media right now. So when you have kids with that age gap right there, our energy level ain't there to kind of like tell them, no, you can't have that.
Or you have to be way more intentional about it.
Yeah.
You have to be way more, and like you're saying, when you have sports and when you have school and when you have work and you have all these things, like that is a added responsibility.
Not only
that if you yourself as a parent
can't keep up
with it, then it's kind of hard to place that level of responsibility, this is just my opinion, on a 12-year-old. I mean, and the lowest form of social media is a cell phone. Think about how tired we are to where sometimes we don't even get a chance to check our phone.
Right.
So adding social media platforms on top of already having a cell phone, that's adding even more stress. And if me personally, if I'm not ready to do it, then she's not getting it.
Right.
Until I'm ready or we feel like she's ready to handle that level of responsibility. She's not getting it.
Right. And my niece used to get upset with me because I would tell her, my niece is older now, she's in college. My niece would get upset with me because she would come here and she would be on her social media, Instagram, whatever. And she would be on my Wi-Fi, and I would tell her, whatever you're on my Wi-Fi with, I have access to. And she would get mad, James, get off my phone. God. Oh my God, why are you looking at my the reason why I say that is because there is no privacy when it comes to Kaden and her. Now we try to give her
she does have privacy.
She has privacy. So we try to give her the privacy that she deserves as a 12-year-old, because we don't want to be looking down her throat for everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a certain level of privacy that she has to earn.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm learning is from boys to social media, sometimes boys are just as ruthless with social media as girls are. Because boys find little small things to pick. They'll take one of your pictures. Like if you go on the beach with your parents and it's a bikini picture, God forbid, and you send it to the group chat of your friends or whatever, or they see it because they have a Facebook, they see it on their parents' Facebook. That's what we're gonna say on their parents or parents' TikTok. They're gonna screenshot that picture. This is why social media is so dangerous. That's why it's a no for me. They'll screenshot that picture, take that screenshot, put it in their group chat of whatever it is. Like I said, that circle tree of social media, and they'll take that picture and they'll put it in their group chat. And now they will pick on your child or talk about your child in that group chat because they're in school with them. Now, when they go to school, there's a whole nother form of cyberbullying because they have social media and your kid doesn't.
Or they can take the head off and put it on a naked body.
Yep.
So, there are different things that can happen. That can happen at any age.
Any
so you
age.
Have to be very careful. But I feel like as far as tweens and teens with social media,
I don't think they should.
I think that it definitely should be a parental decision. But as far as we're concerned, we don't think that Candy is mature enough for it, and we do not want to take on the added bonus of trying to manage social media on top of everything else that we have going on. So for us, it's just a no.
It's a no.
Not a no. As a matter of fact, it's a not right now.
So I'll give you another example. Because I'll pay attention to all my surroundings.
And this is it, babe.
Yep, and this is it. We're at a Georgia game, and I watched a little girl. I look at everything. I watched a little girl. She got about 200 friends. She sits there, and she opens up her Snapchat, and this is all they doing.